Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to share with you 5 things that might be blocking your heart chakra. And with this awareness of these 5 things, you can choose to let them go and give them up, maybe, and that will allow your heart chakra to open. But what does that mean? What does it mean to have your heart chakra open? It means to become more present to the underlying structure of reality, which is love. To become more present and consciously aware of the connection you have with all of life. All of life, even the stones and the walls, are alive. They have a consciousness. They have a love, God-like energy that permeates all of them. And when our heart chakra is blocked, then we don't get to experience that connection. We tend to live more in our heads and get stressed out, and it can be this spiral of just not feeling our best. And this can lead to addictions and negative patterns and all that messy stuff, all because we're sort of severed off from our source, which is that of love. I recently made a video, in fact, I'll leave it up here. It's 7 signs your heart chakra is opening, 7 signs your heart chakra is healing. And it was a very well-received video, but I thought, you know what? Some people might have seen that and said, you know what, I'm not experiencing that. And if that's the case, then I want to provide this for you. Or maybe you're experiencing some of what I said, but not all of it. It's important right now that we all open up our hearts. And these 5 things that you can give up today are going to help you do that, make a profound difference, not only in your heart chakra opening, but just in your life and your overall happiness. Number 1, one of the main things that I've seen when I would coach people that really blocks people from not only their heart chakra opening up and healing, but also just their own rapid potential forward moving progress in their spiritual awakening and of life. It's the definition that anxiety is bad. The definition that anxiety is something to be suppressed, that people long for it to be gone and removed, and they don't want it. And frankly, none of us can blame anyone for not wanting to feel anxiety. I'm not saying I like the flavor of anxiety. It's sort of an uncomfortable energy, I agree, but what it is information. Anxiety, that's an emotional state of being that is a clear indicator that something is out of alignment within yourself, that you're maybe unconsciously harboring a belief that is filtering your own source energy. You're filtering it through that belief, and it's creating this emotion. And when you can sort of use your anxiety as information, then you can align yourself and let go of what's no longer serving you. So anxiety is good. Anxiety is saying, hey, you're about to take yourself to the next level vibrationally, but you need to investigate and see why you're feeling anxiety in this particular situation. So when I have anxiety, I don't fight it, I don't suppress it. I always ask myself why. Victor, why would you feel anxious in the situation just around your friends and peers? They're not trying to harm you. They don't wish you harm or have ill will toward you. In fact, they're being quite pleasant. So why, oh why, would you feel anxiety now? Rather than resistance, frustration, suppression, closing off the heart space. I always ask why. And whenever I ask why, because the energies are so high right now, I usually get the answer pretty darn quickly and let it go. When I let it go, the anxiety goes away. But it always comes back in new situations when it's time to take another growth spurt. And as long as you can start saying, what's up? How you doing? Thank you for being here to help me learn more about myself, to your anxiety, become friends with it, your heart will open up. You won't be one that's closed off at all. Number 2, one of the biggest things that keeps anyone out of their heart is a resentment. And it's easy to forgive people for things that don't really bother you all that much, even though maybe you could justify being upset. But the things that truly do get under your skin and trigger you, those are the ones that can be challenging to let go of, and yet they're all the same. A resentment is going to trap you. If you resent somebody, then you are severed off from that divine connection you have with them, even if they're not a nice person. I'm not saying to condone the unjust deeds of other people, but to resent and to resist is to close yourself off. And I've seen firsthand in my own life the true monster of a resentment, how it really can manifest. And I'll give an example briefly, which I'm almost embarrassed to share. I had this business partner, his name is Marv, and we were real close friends. But as we started to work together for a little while there, a couple years, we got on each other's nerves. And when the business started to kind of fail, we blamed each other. And we really got resentful and sort of didn't acknowledge our own take in the matter. And we got very resentful. And I kind of ignored the resentment. I held on to it. I didn't let it go. And it built and built and built up and built up and built up and built up. And finally, I was so severed off from my brotherly love for this human being who I still love to death. He's a close friend of mine. I was so severed off that one night, out of a heated sort of festering, I chose to write him this long letter, this long, mean letter, clearly pinpointing all the things I thought he was doing wrong. And it was just a very nasty letter that I'm so ashamed that I would even write it and then choose to give it to him. And he read that letter and he was hurt. And he responded back with his own letter. And guess what? It was the exact same nature, and I was hurt. And we both just hurt each other badly because of that resentment. Okay? I have never seen anything take me out of my heart faster and more purely than a resentment. I realize that resentments have no place in my consciousness whatsoever. And the moment I find I have one, I immediately try to figure it out and resolve it because I don't like being disconnected from my own heart. I don't think any of us do as well. Number 3, and I'm guilty of this too, is the hierarchy mentality. This is especially prevalent in the spiritual community. A lot of people, when they first wake up, including myself, decide and conclude that we are spiritual, we are of a higher frequency, and then we start to look at life through the lens of that hierarchy mentality and start to judge people based on low or high, low frequency, low vibration, 3D mentality. Oh goodness, I don't belong here. Oh goodness, I hate it here. I can't stand being here. I'm so above it, right? I had that where I would look at people in the world eating their fast food or with their moods and their heavier energy, and I would judge them, I would label them, and I would disconnect myself from the true underlying commonality that I share with them, which is that we're all spirits, we're all made of God, we're all built of love, and we're all doing our best. We're all on our own individual journey. We're all eternal souls having this temporary human experience with our own agendas, with our own plans that are all wise and perfect for each individual. But that hierarch mentality took me out of that wisdom. It took me out of my heart, and it made me actually isolate and sort of live the repercussions of one who judges others and judges themselves and puts themselves on a pedestal. I was lonely, I was imbalanced, I was not happy, even though I was having all these cool mystical things happen to me. I wasn't very spiritual. I just thought I was. And it's something that I don't know if I might not have even wanted to hear this if I was where I was back then, because it would have been tough. But maybe some of you are doing a little bit of that. Maybe some of you are doing a lot of that, and it's going to be helpful to you. And if you really want to get into your heart, you got to find the love, the commonality of love, and the connection you have for all people. The further I've grown, the more dysfunctional I've realized I am, and the more similar I am to everybody. Starseed, Lightworker, Indigo, none of that means anything. We are literally all people doing our best to evolve and grow and be decent. And some days are better than others, but we're all in this together. Not just the Lightworkers and all that kind of stuff, everybody. And once I realized that, I had a much easier time being around people. I started making new friends and relationships, and I was able to truly feel love and compassion for those out there who might be struggling like I sometimes do. Number 4 is the resistance to crying, to expressing honestly, in an uninhibited way, the emotions that are present. You really see this during a San Pedro ceremony. This is a cactus plant medicine. that is designed to bring people into their heart and open them up and make them very aware of their emotional states of being. But those that have been really closed off have a real hard time with this medicine, and you can see it in ceremony. This is something I've been fortunate to be good at for whatever reason. You see, I've probably cried 100 times on my YouTube videos, and I know it's harder for people who have been really wounded in life. It's harder for guys in general that I've observed, being, sort of generalizing there. But it's important that we are honest with how we feel, because when we suppress and hold down our emotions, they go out of the forefront of our conscious mind, but they're still there in our energy bodies, affecting us and weighing us down, pulling us down and out of our heart space. And a lot of times a heart chakra opening is just on the other side of a good cry, or a good punching of a pillow, or a good scream. Let out your emotions. Don't keep them in. Right now, we're all going through an awakening process that's causing all of those dense emotions, infringing upon our hearts being opened. It's all coming up. And it's going to be almost impossible nowadays to really suppress it. Good luck with that. It's going to start manifesting in your life if you choose to do that. And I know it can be scary. It's rarely fun to feel vulnerable. But I'm telling you from my own experience, and again, it's one of the things I am good at, is I let my emotions flow. I don't suppress them, and therefore I move through things fairly quickly and can process through challenges pretty easily, because I just let the emotions sort of play themselves out. Okay, so this advice might not be applicable to everybody, but those of you tough macho guys, maybe it will help you a little bit. Number 5. Perhaps the most universal of all things we are all doing that are really making a significant difference in the degree that we are connected to our heart is being unloving towards ourselves. I've met a lot of you. You're exceptionally nice people, exceptionally mindful and considerate people, and yet a lot of you, and me too, are incredibly cruel to yourselves. We beat ourselves up. We hold ourselves up to this ridiculous expectation that makes no sense, and when we don't reach it or embody it 100% of the time, which is freaking impossible, what do? We have the negative self-critic, the negative dialogue, we self-sabotage, we go forth and numb ourselves with addictions and so forth, and escapism. And it all comes down to that core unlove of ourselves, that choice to be lenient and forgiving to others, but not us. We don't deserve it. We're not enough. We're not worthy of our own love. That's the crazy ass perspective a lot of us have. And I'm still very unloving to myself. I'm not super loving to myself all the time, but I'm aware of it. And I do my best to do things to love myself. This could start in a very simple way. There's one time where this was kind of a theme in my life, and I remember being in the shower and just sort of like washing my hair as one does, and I just was massaging my head, like caressing it in a very like loving way, and just sending myself good vibes and loving energy. And you know what? It felt really good. It was really easy. It didn't take any time. It was just a moment where I woke up and I chose to be loving to myself, and I could feel it. I could feel it throughout my whole body. Another way we can do this is to forgive ourselves. We're living in a very challenging energetic climate that's extremely growth catalyzing. It will lead to a lot of imbalance and indiscretion and so forth. And that's to be expected as we have chosen to raise our frequency so quickly. So in light of that, wouldn't it be wise to give ourselves some slack? I'm going to write that down. Victor, give yourself some slack. I'm here with you, my friend. I'm not preaching to you. I'm preaching to myself, to all of us. Okay? The more you can love yourself, the wider your heart is going to open. The more loving relationships will come into your life. The more blessings you will allow into your life, the freedom, the abundance, the health, the fun, the excitement, the passion, the purpose. We will receive when we allow ourselves to receive. It's really that simple. So my friend, give yourself a hug right now. Hopefully this video will ring with you throughout your day and you can catch yourself when you're beating up on yourself, and you can do the opposite then. Okay, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. Much love to you all. Thank you. My heart goes out to all of you, and I appreciate the love you're always sharing with me. If you're brand new to my YouTube channel, let me first and foremost say welcome, and the fact that it's an honor for me to be speaking to you, for I know you're one who is courageously going through this awakening path, and I know it's not easy. Thank you for your work. As a gift for you, I've created a free guided meditation that'll help you align and heal yourself. It's a healing meditation that I don't take credit for. It's a guided meditation to help you realize you can heal yourself with the power of your own intent. It's a guided sort of channeled meditation experience I created. It's completely free. Check it out down below if you'd like. It's in the description box or the top comment. With that, I'm gonna close. You guys have an amazing day. Have a phenomenal week. Catch y'all next time. Namaste.